From wherever you're watching us, it is just about 5 a.m. in Sydney, Australia, 8 p.m. in Johannesburg, South Africa, and 9 p.m. in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. Good evening and a very warm welcome to this last broadcast of the year on this Sunday, the 31st of December, 2023. Now, I want to run you through some of the numbers perhaps you may or you may not know. This year has, consumed, or rather has had a total of 31,536,000 seconds, 525,600 minutes, 8,760 hours, 365 days, that is equivalent to 52 weeks and 1 day. That is how long the year 2023 has been. And here on TV47, the home of untold stories, we want to thank you for your undoubted company for the last 365 days. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is George Maringa. Our sign language interpreter at the end of your screen is Catherine Simaloy. Now, I want to take you to the magical, where tonight we are asking you, with just hours to the end of 2023, what are your wishes and expectations for the year 2024 that begins in just about 3 hours? I want to sample, some of your feedback, especially on our Facebook platform, our Facebook page at TV47 Kenya. Evani Huizi say to thank God, also bless the country and be safe throughout our goals and missions of success. Be nice. God did. Bless up all. Honorable Kibbs Collins, you say good health, peace and love. Linda Opel, today is my birthday. Happy birthday, Linda, by the way. Just want to finish eating in style with God's blessings. Trish Lintash, you say good health and financial breakthrough. Justin Blair, you say good health, fresh minds to achieve what you can. Douglas Olewanja, you say peace and good health. That is just some of your feedback. We invite you to be able to speak to us as we ask you, with just hours to the end of 2023, what are your wishes and expectations for the new year 2024? 22047 is our SMS line. N on X, that is at TV47 News, at George Maringa _. You can tweet me directly. We will be able to sample your feedback. Use the hashtag TV47 Weekend Edition. On screen are live pictures from Nakuru County, where we expect President William Ruto to be able to issue the state address. And of course, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is currently speaking. We want to listen in for just a little bit as we wait for President William Ruto to address the nation, even as we prepare to cross over into the new year. Of course, your feedback keeps coming. Thank you so much for staying with us. We shall be crossing over to Nakuru County. That is the Nakuru State Lodge, President Dr. William Ruto will be addressing the nation from. But before then, here are some of our top stories. Tonight, 7 people die on the spot after an accident involving a trailer and a 14-seater PSV in Nakuru.
Ikaweza kugonga ile matatu kutoka nyuma, na ni pole sana kwa sababu tumeweza kupoteza maisha.
Residents blame police.
Saa 12 napata maaskari wamesimama hapa na hakuna kenye wanafanya. Kazi ni kuchukua hongo.
Standoff in Nyeri town as police thwart meeting planned by ex-Mungiki leader Mainanjanga.
Tuko tumeitwa na Mainanjanga na sisi kama vijana tuko tumekuja kuomba juu unajua ni mwisho wa mwezi, ni mwisho wa mwaka.
Over 250 people arrested in a crackdown on supporters of the outlawed sect. Plus, police in Eldoret begin investigations after long-distance athlete Edward Kiplagat alias Benjamin was found dead inside a car in Eldoret. For those of us joining us on our terrestrial platforms, we thank you for choosing us on this New Year's Eve. My name is George Maringa. Catherine Similai is on sign language interpretation tonight. Now, 7 people have lost their lives and several others injured in a road accident at the Everready roundabout on the Nakuru-Eldoret highway. These 7 were in a public service vehicle, that is a PSV, traveling to Nakuru when a trailer rammed into the matatu, and the injured are currently recuperating at the Nakuru County Referral Hospital. Chichi Josephine opens our broadcast tonight with that report. And we shall be getting the details of that accident that took place earlier today involving a PSV that was traveling to Nakuru when a trailer rammed into the matatu. President William Ruto, as had earlier promised you, will be addressing the nation, and he's currently ready to do that. We want to cross over live to Nakuru State Lodge and listen to the head of state.
Gavana wetu Susan na wananchi wa Nakuru kwa kutupokea jioni ya leo katika sherehe hii ya muhimu ya kuvuka mwaka kama watu wa Nakuru na watu wa Kenya. Asanteni sana kwa kutukaribisha hapa Nakuru County na Nakuru Town. And let me, on behalf of the many friends, thank the great people of Nakuru for welcoming us warmly into Nakuru. And we are now in the final minutes of 2023, an eventful year for individuals, communities, and for us collectively as a nation. We navigated through major difficulties, faced significant challenges, and celebrated numerous triumphs. Our nation is the sum of our lives, experiences, and aspirations. Like most of us, our country has lived through an eventful year and made encouraging progress across many sectors in the midst of daunting setbacks. The impact of global economic dynamics adversely affected us, compounded by the war in Europe, rising interest rates in America, and the unfortunate effects of climate change that occasioned the most severe drought in 40 years. All these factors slowed down our economic performance, resulting in increased commodity prices. Fertilizers and cereals experienced significant price hikes, contributing to the rise in food prices and the overall cost of living. To manage, moderate, and overcome these difficulties, this year became the year of a complete paradigm shift in the handling of our national issues. We collectively summoned the courage to make bold, decisive, far-reaching, and long-term decisions to once and for all put our country on the path to attaining its full socio-economic potential. The choices we've made over the last year were neither easy, populist, nor convenient. They were, however, meaningful, appropriate, and necessary. In the short term, painful, but in the long term, gainful. 2023 is the year we decided to stop wastage and extravagance, instead opting to live within our means. We decided to cut expenditure by up to 400 billion shillings so as to reduce our borrowing. We decided to enhance our tax revenues by Kenya shillings 600 billion to fund our programs and development so as to safeguard our sovereignty and rising interest rates in America, and the unfortunate effects of climate change that occasioned the most severe drought in 40 years. All these factors slowed down our economic performance, resulting in increased commodity prices. Fertilizers and cereals experienced significant price hikes, contributing to the rise in food prices and the overall. In 2023, we decided to get rid of consumption subsidies that not only drove our nation into deeper financial distress, but were also unsustainable, opaque, and only benefited middlemen at the expense of those who truly deserved support. Instead, we deliberately redirected our focus to support production through incentives in our crops, livestock, and fisheries programs. Today, with the blessing of good weather, thanks to God, these interventions have enabled us to increase our food productivity by 40%, at a fraction of the previous cost. Working with farmers, our foremost patriots, we shall double our efforts in 2024 until we reduce our Kenya shillings 500 billion food import bill to zero and rid our country of the shame of hunger. In 2023, we decided that growing our economy, as has been the case in the past, was not enough. Change was an inevitable imperative. As such, we rolled out an economic growth model intentionally designed to be inclusive, deliberately expanding opportunities and creating jobs. Millions of jobs, all types of jobs, construction jobs, technical jobs, technical jobs, digital jobs, as well as entrepreneurial opportunities, both locally and abroad. Our housing program, for example, not only provides decent home ownership for millions, including some slum dwellers who now live in squalor, and has already created 120,000 jobs, with plans to employ an even greater multiple of people next year. For the first time, my Mama Mboga and Boda Boda friends will now have a chance to own a home in our Kenya shillings 4,000 a month, 3% interest rate tenant purchase scheme. That will be the case for other Kenyans on our 6% affordable housing and 9% market housing program. All these housing programs will be at a single-digit interest rates, which is half the current rate. Ladies and gentlemen, our digital superhighway infrastructure, with 22,000 computers being supplied, is already creating thousands of jobs in our technical and vocational education and training institutions. Even as we roll out our ICT hubs in every ward and every constituency in Kenya. Our international jobs program is well on course, having negotiated many bilateral labor agreements to open up opportunities for employment for Kenyans globally. Our collective efforts have not only rescued us from economic paralysis, but propelled us towards a brighter future. We navigated complex debt situations, accelerated economic progress, and invested significantly in our human capital. Recognizing the pivotal role of education, we increased allocation to the education sector by Kenya shillings 127 billion, which enabled us enhanced capitation for our learners, bringing us closer to the dream of universal education from ECD to the tertiary level. we also employed 56,000 teachers to improve access to quality education throughout Kenya. We have equally made immense progress in promoting financial inclusion and dignity of Kenyans at the lower economic echelons. The Hustler Fund and the NSSF new contribution model exemplify our dedication to inclusive growth, financial well-being, and social security for all Kenyans. We have made affordable credit available to millions of Kenyans who for years were alienated and underserved by financial institutions. The Hustler Fund has disbursed over Kenya's shillings 42 billion to Kenyans in just 1 year, making it the largest financial inclusion program in Kenya. And most importantly, over 7 million Kenyans are now regular customers, transacting and doing business, freed from the bondage of Shylocks and predatory lenders. Kenyans who would otherwise not make it beyond the watchman at the financial institution now access close to 100 million shillings from the Hustler Fund every single day. We shall continue to improve and expand the range of products offered under this revolutionary intervention. Similarly, our universal health coverage program has set in motion a transformative approach to health delivery. With 100,000 community health promoters actively contributing to the betterment of our nation's health, we are witnessing the tangible impact of our dedication to the well-being of people. In the new year, we continue our health transformation at the secondary and tertiary health levels, emphasizing the need for a fair contribution system for social health insurance, as the previous setup disproportionately burdened and alienated low-income earners from accessing healthcare. For the first time, ladies and gentlemen, every Kenyan, without exception, will have health insurance, and all Kenyans will access treatment, including for notorious chronic conditions like cancer, hypertension, and diabetes without discrimination. These are only brief highlights of the work done and progress made this year. I acknowledge we do not have a strong history of commitment to positive transformation or a culture of consistent promise-keeping in our political leadership. This may explain why many anticipated that this administration would abandon the commitments we made under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. It is in this context, for example, that I understand the invitation by some for us not to honor our commitment on account that they are either too onerous or simply unattainable. For the record, I want to tell them, we are breaking new ground and charting a new political culture for Kenya. Instead of excuses to abandon our nation's transformation, I invite the skeptics, opponents, and the indifferent to change their perspective and embrace our new paradigm shift to pursue inclusive growth with a sense of urgency where leaders, they say. Yet, as we celebrate all the achievements made so far, a number of our policies, programs, and other strategic interventions aimed at delivering necessary and urgent interventions of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda have been delayed, obstructed, and hampered by various challenges, including persistent litigation. There is nothing wrong with challenging policy and holding government to account. And in fact, the national interest is best safeguarded in an environment defined by the competition of progressive ideas where a good proposal gives way to a better one. We all have a duty to make sure that the best ideas always prevail in enhancing the well-being of the people and making this nation prosperous and powerful. That is what our democracy exists to achieve. Having said this, you will agree with me that there is something fundamentally wrong with opposition without any viable alternative, whose only purpose is division, conflict, and anarchy. There is something wrong with litigation sponsored by hostage-taking vested interests with the sole aim to delay, derail, and sabotage the delivery of public programs and defeat public interest. Time and time again, Kenyans have clearly and manifestly demonstrated their devotion to pursuing opportunities for progress by voting for progressive policies, as they did in the last election. Kenyans are ready to propel their nation forward to greatness. What has held them back is the leadership invested in the status quo, which excludes the majority to benefit only a few. A politics comfortable with keeping millions in want and indignity to preserve the illegitimate privileges of a few, and a resultant institutional system in which the disenfranchisement of ordinary people is the yardstick of public policy. This should and must change. A new paradigm, my dear Kenyans, must be negotiated. There is an inevitable clash of ideologies at the moment that go beyond a mere conflict over choices. It extends to a disagreement between us as to who between the few who wield power in the executive, legislature, and in the judiciary, and everyone else without distinction, who are the legitimate targets and beneficiaries of public policy. We are at the moment of reflection that calls us to revisit the first principles of our civil and political understanding, reevaluate the terms of our social contract, and place Kenyans, the ones we sometimes call ordinary, at the center of all national discourse. As we do this, we must appreciate one indisputable fact. Freedom is our lifeblood and identity. We are a society defined by opportunity, founded on free enterprise and democracy, where competition and merit are underpinned by compassion, inclusivity, and a strong sense of collective interest. Public policy must therefore respect, uphold, and promote this fundamental character, enhancing our aspirations by ensuring that everyone, and I repeat, everyone must be seen and heard, and that no one, and I repeat again, no one is left behind. For us to remain a viable nation-building project, every Kenyan must be represented at the decision-making table. The public interest is safeguarded by our constitutional dispensation, providing for the implementation of state policy for the benefit of all citizens, not some citizens. This includes the implementation of social and economic rights, a progressive economy creating jobs and wealth, fighting corruption, controlling wastage, supporting public institutions, and protecting freedom and the rule of law. This perspective radically increases the number of possible winners and dramatically diminishes likely losers. Yet, every new way of doing things can threaten the privileges of a dominant minority and alienate the beneficiaries of an unjust system. Whenever this happens, ladies and gentlemen, their associates can attempt to hijack national institutions, turning them into anti-people weapons for a select privileged few and saboteurs of inclusive transformation for the majority. We are, unfortunately, at such a... Whenever this happens, ladies and gentlemen, their associates can attempt to hijack national institutions, turning them into anti-people weapons for a select privileged transformation for the majority. For us to do the very best that we can in making this country work for everyone and in making sure that our institutions protect and increase opportunities for wealth and employment for all. The people of Kenya have also invested in providing us, their leaders, in all arms of government with generous welfare and other benefits, including medical and housing benefits that they can only dream of, in the expectation that we shall in turn safeguard their opportunities to access either commensurate, if not similar, benefits. We must recognize, ladies and gentlemen, the extraordinary privilege that has been bestowed on us to serve this nation as members of the cabinet, the civil society, the security services, members of parliament, county governments, the judiciary, or in the commissions and independent offices. Accordingly, we are under solemn obligation to dedicate all our time, energy, and abilities to the advancement of the people's aspirations and the improvement of their well-being. In other words, the very best of our professional and moral and intellectual capabilities must be summoned in the service of the nation. And as trustees of the people, we are duty-bound to exercise public authority and deploy public resources to the best of our judgment and discretion with the public interest in our mind. Our understanding of public interest must be aligned with the imperative to enhance the social contract and be connected with the urgent need to increase opportunities and transform the landscape of possibilities. Let us therefore reflect very deeply about the ways in which we act and speak in the name of the Constitution. We must ensure that institutional independence does not mutate into impunity and avoidance of accountability. We must be cautious lest our professed pursuit of constitutionalism and obedience to the law turns into an empty ritual and hollow vanity for the majority of citizens. We must take abundant care that our aim to protecting or advancing the people's rights does not deny them legitimate opportunities or make a mockery and their aspirations. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when a public servant enjoying a house mortgage at 3% interest makes a decision to frustrate the housing program, robbing millions of young people employment prospects and denying millions of Kenyans the chance to own a home like them. This is also the case when a public officer who benefits from unlimited medical insurance invokes the law to derail the universal health care delivery, denying millions of vulnerable Kenyans a health cover, just like the one they have. It is also the case when a politician neglects the boundaries of democratic competition, that opposing policy, government policy for that matter, does not permit undermining the nation or sabotaging the national interest or the welfare of the people. In conclusion, the last general elections were a watershed moment for our nation. We finally came of age and set a new record, confirming all and sundry that Kenya is a robust democracy. We turned over a new leaf, writing a fresh chapter in the Kenyan narrative. The era of ethnicity and ethnic political mobilization was well behind us. The anarchy of election violence was firmly relegated to the past. And more importantly, the people, not the system, had the final say. This new narrative of a new Kenya is what we have built upon for the past 1 year. We have established a new profile for Kenya, providing regional and global leadership, highlighted by hosting the first ever Africa Climate Summit. Nairobi is recognized now as the best city to visit in 2024 by the US-based travel agency Lonely Planet. And Kenya stands as the third highest recipient of the World Bank. Accordingly, our country holds the third position as a globally attractive destination for foreign direct investment in 2024. Kenya has also achieved the status of the best adventure tourism destination in Africa and ranks 10th globally. With our newly crafted global positioning as the home of humankind and a visa-free regime, we are poised to double our tourist arrivals, expand opportunities for thousands of hospitality facilities, and create millions of jobs. This represents the new branding, the new profile, the new narrative to propel the nation we all love to the next level. I urge all Kenyans, especially leaders, to build on the Kenya that celebrates diversity and not ethnic bigotry. A Kenya free of anarchy and violence, and a nation not founded on negativity, but a new positive narrative that is gaining momentum globally. It is important for us to remind one another of what really is at stake. We have come some encouraging way amid enormous challenges and significant difficulties. Our path will be easier, our journey will be faster, and our progress smoother if we all remember that the people of Kenya have interests that dictate our job descriptions and form the terms of. Let us remember this always, and remember that with the new year comes our opportunity to do much more and much better. And that is why I wish every Kenyan, irrespective of their status, irrespective of their station, irrespective of where they live, a blessed, progressive and successful 2024. Na nitarudia niseme kwa Wakenya wote, mahali popote mlipo, mwaka wa 2024 ni mwaka wa baraka. Mungu ametupatia taifa, ametupatia nchi yenye baraka nyingi, ametupatia mambo mengi. Kenya leo imepata heshima duniani kote. Kenya leo inatambulika. Ni jukumu letu kujenga taifa letu. Good people, we have a great country. It is our responsibility to make it greater. And we have a moment in history to do just that. And I'm asking all of us leaders, all of us Kenyans, to work together to move our country, the country we all love, to the next level. Thank you. I again wish each and every one of you a great year ahead, as I ask the people of Nakuru who lost some family members today, that we ask God to empathize with you as we empathize with you, that God is going to give the grace to the families that lost their loved ones today in Nakuru County, that in Nyeri and a few other areas during this season. We wish them God's grace, and that God will comfort them and give them safe passage, even as we celebrate the new year. We stand with the families who have lost their loved ones. I want to say to all of us, asanteni sana. I know we will be here for a while as we wait for for midnight. Welcome to this celebration, and my very best wishes in 2024. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Tumpongeze Rais kwa makofi tena. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rais kwa
Indeed, that is the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, addressing the nation for the past 36 minutes in his state address to the country on this New Year's Eve. And just to highlight some of the issues that is mentioned, he will ensure in his government that no one is left behind. You can as well visit our social media platforms as well as our YouTube page to listen to more on what the President has spoken earlier on, where he is flanked by several leaders, including Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, Nakuru Governor Susan Kihika, and other leaders as they await to usher in the new year. You're watching TV47 Weekend Edition. We are due for a short commercial break. When we come back, we have more on the other side. Remember, we are asking you, with just hours to the end of 2023, what are your wishes and expectations for the year 2024? We shall be sampling your feedback as the show continues. Do stay with us. caught me going through some of your feedback. We asked you earlier on, with just us to the end of 2023, what are your wishes and expectations for the year 2024? Patrick Migiri say, we mkolit sana from Pipeline. I'm really great to be a Kenyan because Kenya, we can tell we continue to be a country of great promises. It's Maggie from Lucky Summer. This year I'm celebrating how God has been on my side. I wish you a happy new year. We here at TV47 want to wish you a happy new year in advance as you await to usher in the new year 2024 in just a few hours. But before then, let's inform you with some of the top stories making headlines tonight, where 7 people have lost their lives and several others injured in a road accident at the Everready roundabout on the Nakuru-Eldoret highway. These 7 were in a public service vehicle, that is PSV, traveling to Nakuru when a trailer rammed into the matatu, and the injured are currently recuperating at the Nakuru County Referral Hospital. Chichi Josephine tells us more.
The wreckage, which depicts the severity of the impact in the Sunday morning accident at the Everready roundabout along the Nakuru-Eldoret highway. The accident is said to have happened after the driver of this trailer ferrying maize lost control at the roundabout, ramming this ill-fated 14-seater matatu belonging to the Ngata Sacco and dragging it for some distance, killing the 7 on the spot.
Toka Ngata Brigade hapa, this is a hot spot, black spot place. Lakini hawaelewi. Sasa sisi tunashindwa, tutazidi tu kukufa, kila saa tunakufa.
Witnesses say the accident happened after the Nakuru-bound matatu had stopped at a police roadblock, which made the trailer lose control.
Hii gari ilikuwa imesimamishwa na maaskari, wakakuwa wanachukua hongo. Hiyo harakati wanachukua, hii gari ikatoka juu ya mahindi, hii transist. After itoka juu ilipiga honi mingi sana. So from there ndio ilishika hiyo Nissan, ikararua pande moja. Wenye walikuwa ndani, sisi ndio tumeweka kwa skeja, imewapeleka mocha.
Saa 12 napata maaskari wamesimama hapa na hakuna kenye wanafanya. Kazi ni kuchukua hongo.
At some point, police were forced to lob tear gas to disperse a group of young people who are said to be preparing to riot against the police. Others could be seen allegedly trying to rape where they did not so. Nakuru Level 5 Deputy Medical Superintendent Emmanuel Sinai said they received 19 casualties at the facility from the scene of the accident, 7 of whom were dead, as 12 others sustained injuries.
A total of 19 casualties who arrived at our hospital. 7 of those were fatalities that occurred at the site, and the bodies have been transferred to our morgue. So 12 of them came to our casualty for medical attention. So far, 2 of the gentlemen have been seen and discharged. They just had some soft tissue injuries, but they were stable enough to be released from the hospital. 3 have been admitted to the ward so far.
At the Nakuru Annex Mortuary, pain and anguish rented the air as families of the deceased streamed in to identify their loved ones. Today's accident pushes the road accidents death toll to 35 during the festive season, with 4,246 people losing their lives this year alone. The wreckage was towed to Kaptembwa Police Station. Chichi Josephine, TV47.
May their souls rest in peace. At least 250 individuals have been arrested in Nyeri town and its environs in a crackdown on supporters of former Mungiki leader Maina Njenga. This comes after Nyeri County Police Commissioner Pius Murugo banned a planned rally that was slated to be held and attended by a section of Mount Kenya leaders at the Kabiroine grounds, stating that it was unlawful. Those arrested are said to have been in possession of paraphernalia linked to the sect, like flags and tobacco.
Tension gripped was the order of the day in parts of Nyeri town for the better part of Sunday, this coming ahead of former Mungiki leader Maina Njenga's Thanksgiving rally that was to be held at the Kabiroini showground. Police officers were deployed in the area to deter attendees, raising concerns of a potential clash. Some police officers were manning multiple roadblocks erected on major roads leading to the venue, while others were conducting patrols in Nyeri town and its environs. Following the security efforts, hundreds of suspected Mungiki members allegedly heading to the venue on foot and in vehicles were arrested and taken to Nyeri Central Police Station.
Tulikuwa tumeitwa na Naivasha na sisi kama vijana tulikuwa tumekuja kuomba juu unajua ni mwisho wa mwezi, ni mwisho wa mwaka. So tulikuwa tumekuja kuomba hapa, kuomba Mwenyezi Mungu atusaidie kwa hii mwaka yenye imekuwa mzuri na hii mwaka yenye tunakuja kuingia hata ikuwe mzuri. So tulikuwa tumekuja kuomba, lakini tulikuwa almost 5,000 people kuja kuomba, lakini tukaona venye kumeendelea, sisi tumekuja watu almost 1,000 wameshikwa.
Vehicles that were allegedly ferrying them were also impounded and later towed to the same police station. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua had warned against involvement with illegal groups during a Christmas party, criticizing the former Mungiki leader.
Now, tonight, Azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga has said he will mobilize Kenyans from all walks of life in the new year, that is 2024, in the opposition's quest to force the Ruto administration to reduce taxes and the high cost of living while scaling up the war against corruption. In his New Year message, Raila regretted the year 2023 is ending on a sad note, with Kenyans bearing the brunt of the high cost of living. He has also alleged corruption is rife at the Education Ministry as schools prepare for the new term.
Just like 2023, 2024 will be another battleground year for the opposition Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza administration over the cost of living, high taxes and corruption. In his New Year message, Azimio leader Raila Odinga says, and I quote, "The year 2023 has ended the way it started, with difficulties that include the highest cost of living and levels of taxation never witnessed in our 60-year history as a country."
Tunasema mwaka mpya hii sheria ya kodi mpaka itolewe, ile finance bill mpaka itolewe. Asipotoa hiyo finance bill tutarudi kwenye uwanja.
In what is seen as a new phase of protests that marked the better part of 2023, Odinga further said, "We are willing to build a coalition of citizens who are willing to plan, mobilize, and organize effectively to reclaim and take back our nation. When that time comes, we expect all Kenyans to set aside their differences and engage in actions to restore dignity to livelihoods." The Kenya Kwanza regime, he said, has clearly become a curse upon the nation.
Nia yake sio kupunguza ushuru, ni kuongeza nini? Ushuru. Huu mwaka tunaingia, wacha niwaambie watu wa Bungoma, Zakayo ako anajitayarisha sasa kuja vijijini.
With schools set to reopen in a week's time, the Azimio leader said corruption is rife at the Education Ministry, where officials are creating fictitious schools while interfering with the National Education Management Information System NEMIS to divert funds sent by the National Treasury, claiming half of the capitation money is yet to be accounted for. He says opposition MPs will move to court to have the funds released. The Azimio leader has also named 3 ministries: Health, National Treasury, Energy and Petroleum Dockets, and the Kenya National Trading Corporation KNTC as the most affected by corruption. He has appealed to the civil society to partner with the opposition in fishing out corrupt government officials. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Thank you so much, Apollo, for that report. Now, as we have just about less than 3 hours before the year 2024, we want to show you how preparations are and how Kenyans are preparing to usher in the new year, that is 2024. We want to begin from the coast, from where our very own Muniu is currently on standby. Good evening, Muniu. I believe you can hear me. The coast, of course, has been a destination for many. How are the coastarians, if you wish, preparing to usher in the new year?
With just a few hours to the end of 2023, I can confidently say that Kenyans are excited to usher the new year in style, and of course, especially the Mombasa residents and the tourists who have flocked in various places to be able to welcome the year 2024 in style. And of course, today I am at the Travelers Beach Resort, whereby I will be having a good time. And of course, as you can see, we have the event is set, and we have a theme today, which is the Maasai community, just to bring that vibe as people celebrate the new year. And of course, here I have guests, and especially the tourists, who will be telling us more about where they have come from and why they have decided to celebrate the new year in Kenya and at this particular place, which is in Mombasa. Welcome, sir. Please tell us your name and tell us how do you feel today as you expect to usher the new year today in a few hours time.
It's a very nice place to come.
Look at this.
Very nice place to come. Mombasa is very good, nice weather, and the people are friendly as well.
What have you learned about today's theme? We are celebrating the Maasai community. What have you learned from the people here?
I learned the nice
in from the coastal city of Mombasa. From the coast, we want to bring you to the capital, that is Nairobi County, where we have a church service that is currently ongoing at City Lighters Church right here in Nairobi. Our very own Natasha Wairimu is our eyes and ears on the ground to be able to inform us what is happening. Natasha, good evening. How are the preparations at the church going on as Kenyans prepare to usher in the new year?
Thank you so much, George. We're getting you loud and clear. We are live at City Lighters Church that is located in Nairobi Cinema along Aga Khan Walk. And I am surrounded by joyful congregants who are eagerly waiting to usher in the new year. The air here is filled up with joy, with hope, with anticipation of the new year as they reflect on the year that has been and look forward to the possibilities of the coming year. And I am joined by our gospel artist who is a representative of the church. Karibu sana Moji.
Thank you so much, Natasha. I'm happy to be here. Welcome to City Lighters Church.
Thank you so much. So Kenyans are known to usher in the new year in so many ways, and some will go to entertainment joints, others will go to concerts. But why the church? What is the significance of the church?
The significance of the church is that we believe in God, and for us, for everything, our success and all the things that we go through, and God ametuweka. Sisi tunaamini that this year of 2023 ni Mungu ametuweka. People are complaining about many things, but God ametuweka, tuko hapa, tuko hai. So for us, we believe that it is good to start with God. Just the amazing things that God has in store for us, because He has promised us in His word that those that trust in Him shall not be put to shame. And so I believe that for my family, I believe that for my country, I believe that for the gospel industry, I believe that for everybody. And even as here at church, we believe that God shall not put us to shame. So even though we go through all these things, the Bible says that we go through the valley of the shadow of death, that will come out on the other side. And we believe that even for Kenyans and for everybody else, asubuhi itafika. Through darkness, it is a usiku, asubuhi itafika.
And I've seen so many youths present here. So what is your call to action to the youth and Kenyans at large?
For us, it's just to tell the youth that challenges are there. You know, our parents went through challenges and we've all gone through challenges. And every time, every season has its own challenges. But even now, God has never changed. He has been in the days of David, in the days of Jesus. Whatever the Bible says that there's nothing new under the sun. And for the young people, it's just to tell them and to urge them that just come to God. And even as we do this thing called life, the challenges we go through, God is going to hold us in hand. And for us, many people out there say that maybe the youth don't like God, the youth don't like going to church. As you have seen, Natasha, this church is full of young people. Most of them are under 35 years, 30s. I'm somewhere there in the middle, and all these young people have come here to believe in God and to trust in God. So though there is darkness, though there is challenges, though there is joblessness, all these things, we trust in God and we know for sure we shall be like trees planted by the waterside. Yes.
As you've heard, George, everyone here is hopeful for the new year. And back to you in studio, I'd like to wish you, George, a happy new year. And also all our viewers, may this year be filled with love, blessings, peace, light. My name is Natasha Wairimu.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Natasha, for that. From Nairobi, we cross over to Naivasha, where Willie Dennis Njiru is on standby. Remember, we are covering this crossover to the year 2024 in the best way only we can. Good evening, Willie. Good to speak to you. How are the preparations for the year 2024 coming along in Naivasha?
Very much, George Mariga, coming to you live from Sawela Lodges here in Naivasha, where it is a beehive of activities as we get to end the year in style. Behind me is we have revelers who have come all the way from Nairobi, and we are joined by some of them who are going to be with us in the set in a few, just before they have their dinner and waiting for that hour when it strikes 000 come 2024. We have a gentleman here. Tell us your name and what you anticipate for during this time of this year.
My name is Kelvin.
Yes.
This is my county.
Yes.
I once vied for senator in this county.
Yes.
So this is my home. So I'm so comfortable here. I love this place. And I say Happy New Year.
Yes.
My grant is everyone enjoy. We are having so great time. Naivasha is the best place. It's the center of the Rift Valley. So that's why I'm here with my family. Let's enjoy. Let's have fun. Yes.
What do you anticipate for come 2024, and what have been the predicaments that you had to face in 2023?
2023, I didn't have any issues. 2023, my life was good in 2023, okay? So I've got no issue in 2023. I'm praying to God that 2024 ikuwe tu hivyo, iende tu hivyo. Na TV47 napenda tena sana. Mungu awabariki. You're doing a good job. A new TV coming this way. You guys are amazing. I just love you.
Thank you very much for your compliment. Gentlemen, welcome on set TV47 Live.
Right.
A few hours before the year ends 2023. What do you have to say and what do you have message? Which message do you have for Kenyans?
I think we're excited to have this opportunity to be able to see this year. We're excited because from the beginning of the year, I think the year has been very good. And we're praying that next year, we continue as we are doing. Yes.
So what has been the challenges that you have faced and what do you anticipate maybe? And what is your well-wish message to Kenyans?
I think the challenges we've been having this year is that people have been complaining about money. I think the pockets have been dry. But we are praying, we're asking the government to do something about the coming year so that people are able to spend more money and they're able to come to the hotels. I'll be excited about that.
People complaining about dry pockets. You're enjoying your moments outside here.
Yes, we're very happy to see, because we see we are alive, we're able to see the new year, and we're excited, very happy.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Well wishes message to Kenyans.
Yeah, we wish everybody a very happy new year and an exciting, prosperous new year.
All right.
Thank you
Let's
so
hear
much.
from a lady here. We didn't have any. What is your name, please? And what message do you have for Kenyans as we usher in the new year?
Well, I'm happy to be here as a guest. And I'm wishing all Kenyans a happy new year. And also people love each other, to stop hating each other, stop cursing each other. Everyone has walked through hell. There was COVID, politics. Some people got sick, they never enjoyed. So those who are here and those who are enjoying outside, we should be happy. And we should also pray for those who are sick and those who don't have, Yes, and if you're able to help.
Where do you hail from? Just a curious question.
I hail in Naivasha, but I've come here as a guest, and I'm so happy to see if God will be able to us to see 2024. I'll be happy with my children here. I have 2 children. I'm with them here. So I'm happy to see 2024.
At the clock of the hour, we have another year. What do you anticipate for, and what message perhaps do you have for Kenyans?
Well, for Kenyans, I want, especially the challenges which we have right now, the economy, those who are in the politics. They should look at those who are struggling. Most of us most Kenyans, those who are rich and those who are in politics, they look at themselves. They don't look those who are struggling. So what I would like to say 2024, we should care about each other. Those who are rich, help those who are trying to survive.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, maybe I could close the show here with a lady. Good evening. What is your name? What do you expect in 2024? How has the year been in your life?
The year has been great.
Yeah, name please.
My name is Damaris.
Yeah.
The year has been great.
Yes.
My expectation is basically a lot of love from family, friends.
Thank you indeed, Willie Dennis Njeru, so much for that interactive session with residents in Naivasha. We look forward to the fireworks coming in from Naivasha. Kemboi, on our WhatsApp line, you wish us a Happy New Year here at TV47. We want to wish you all a Happy New Year. Please begin with your name, where you're watching us from, and your message. Of course, as we ask you, with just hours to the end of 2023, what are your wishes and expectations for the year 2024? You're watching the Weekend Edition. We are back in a few minutes. Do stay with us.
Leo
Absolutely. Oh goodness, we have so much tremendous feedback coming in for that question we asked you about just us and the end of 2023. What are your wishes? We continue to receive your Happy New Year messages as well as wishes to the rest of the country. Keep your feedback coming. To some more news, where Kenyans have started complaining over the government's plan to formally increase the application fees for identity cards and other essential documents for identity. The public outcry comes one day to the New Year Eve, on this New Year Eve, which most Kenyans have hoped to improve their lifestyle. The proposed fees, it would cost 2,000 Kenya shillings to replace their ID in the case of loss, and 1,000 shillings for the registration, which is currently free. Paul Kirobi with the details.
With few hours remaining to the new year, Kenyans will probably have nothing to smile about. Most of them are now complaining over the current state of the economy. Making it worse, the new charges of essential documents like identification cards will effectively begin January. This is likely to make Kenyans feel depressed. A majority of Kenyans, more so those who lost their ID cards, now fear that they might be forced to go about their day-to-day activities without the important document.
Kama saizi ukiniambia nitoe 2,000 sina na siwezi weza pata unless nijiunganishe kama wiki 2 hivi ndo nipata hiyo do. Alafu niambie mimi ndaenda pale Huduma Center nitoe 2,000 ndo nipata ID. Na si ati nimesoma. Hiyo ID sijui itanisaidia na nini, by the way. Juu sijasoma. Si Wakenya wote wamesoma.
The move comes at a time Kenyans feel they are suffering heavily due to heavy taxation, high cost of living, and they are awaiting January school reopening calendar. Albert Orayo has faulted Ruto's administration for denying Kenyans their basic right of having free identification cards. He now prefers the previous administration that made Kenyans feel comfortable in their own country.
Uhuru's regime alisema mtu akikulipisha kuchukua ID, it's like huyo amekuwa satisfied na hiyo kazi. Yani imemchosha. So wengine wenye hawatauliza watu their rights kuwalipisha for what they are supposed kupewa bure, anafaa achie wengine wenye hawalipishi juu already wanalipwa.
Kuna watu wengi hawana ID ndugu yangu. Hata ukitembea kwa police station unapata ma ID simepotea. Sasa watu tutawasaidia aje? Okay, serikali inasemekana ati lazima uchukue 1,000 ndio uende tengeneze ID. utapata hiyo thao wapi?
A section of Kenyans says the government did not conduct proper public participation when carrying out the plan. From tomorrow, the government will start taking the new fee imposed on identification cards as chiefs begin the process of sensitizing the public about the new fee. And even as the government is targeting to collect more tax, the worrying trend is the decision to allow visa-free across the African countries. There is now